So our next story you may have heard of about once or twice before, so hopefully the sound is turned up for my computer. Please welcome Des, Shona and DJ. Yeah, come on. Stand here. All right. They put that together. Well done.
Thank you, Jennifer. That was the fun, not us.
You're doing selfies, are you? Oh, how fantastic. Don't worry about inviting me, I'm okay.
You want to reach up there?
Yeah. Tell us how you met Dipner. DJ?
That's her story.
Yeah? Shona? Well, one of you's going to do it.
Okay, you all know the story about the naughty son that signed us up for Dipner, signed the paperwork, we got the phone call to say, how would you like to pay for this? So that's how our son got involved and we got involved. But we had done all the CDs, DVDs, like a university school, and we got them all. And just study. And then we decided we'd go to a boot camp 6 months later. By this time we were onto our second deal that we were doing. And we walked into a boot camp and here's Dibner at the door and we're like, what the? There's Dibner! So we went back and introduced us how we
So how long did it take you to go through the whole package? 3.5 weeks, roughly.
Oh,
9 to 5. Sitting in a lounge room, stopping Dipner, reversing her because she goes too quick, going again. Now, you read and did all the study part of it in the manuals. Your reading and writing isn't that great.
And what?
Not your reading and writing isn't great.
I'll read. Is this on?
Yep.
I can read anything. I'll show you the bottom line on the sheet, but don't ask me to write the English language.
Yep.
Can't do it.
So better for you to watch to listen to CDs and watch DVDs.
Absolutely.
Yep. So you go along, and DJ, we had a character for DJ to sign you up like that, you know, but it was $110,000 you left Melbourne, we started driving across to WA, and you saw a change in your parents, DJ. They'd lost their mojo.
Yeah, pretty much. They'd been working for the big man for 2 years, I think it was. And they were real entrepreneurial into all kinds of different things beforehand, and they were working for this big billionaire, and they had lost who they were. They were pretty much a shell of their former selves, just
puppets.
Pretty much, yeah.
So you got to the point where you've done your study, you start doing your grid variance analysis, you go to get a job doing explosive manufacturing, making bombs, which is fantastic, and at the airport they just go, whatever, you make bombs, well that's good, keep going. You do grid variance, you find a town 10 hours from Perth, you drive out there, you buy your first deal, buy your second deal, and you come through. So let's have a look at some of these. You left the big shot job, which we talked about. You had no retirement plan, limited funds, $110,000, didn't know what to do, but Dipner came along.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, if anyone hasn't met our son, this is DJ, and I thank him every day. He gave us our life back by signing us up with him. Yeah, I thank him so much.
Thanks, DJ. So,
it all worked out.
So am I.
So you moved out to that point. You buy this one, which is $60,000. So you got $110,000 cash.
30,000.
Oh, 30?
It was 2 in the deal.
There's 2 in the deal, yeah. So it's 60,000 total because you got 2 titles, 3 houses, right? And that's the total deal. So you got $110,000, 60 grand goes into purchasing these 2, and you go in there and you start renovating that. This was the place where they were shooting up drugs. It was all, no one was living in because it was unlivable.
It was sadly, yeah, we went there, had a look at this house, and on the front door was a sign, unfittable for human habitation. It was a gold mine.
I can't believe it. Oh, the smell.
Yeah.
So this area has no supermarkets around. There is a supermarket in town that they hold them to ransom.
Yep.
They charge too much and stuff like that. So you go when you renovate this, you get tenants into it. You've got tenants helping you lay carpet and vinyl, because the town doesn't have anywhere to stay, and you've just done the flashiest reno in the town, right?
Traffic jams in the street, people didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, and there's this whole change to this town that happens because you start this process, right?
Absolutely, we got state politicians coming out there that actually see something's actually happening out
Yeah.
bush.
So you do those two there. What's the, you get income out of that. The income will come up soon, but essentially, you're getting passive income out of that deal.
Yes.
And you're living in the other house?
We were living in a little old one at that point.
Which still had holes in the roof while you're still living there.
Yes.
So you're looking at the stars at night. How romantic, right? So then you go off and you do Boomerang Street.
Yes.
You purchased that one for 55. So you revalued the other two to draw money out so that you could go off. It's a duplex, this one here, and you turned it into a 6-bedroom for a large family. It was valued at 240 after you've done the 30k odd reno.
That's right.
So after that reno, 5580, call it 100k, it revalues at 240, go to 80%, take your money out and go off and doing more, right?
That's right.
That's the little duplex there, and it's a 6-bedder. Do you do standard rental on this one? Standard rental.
Which one are you talking about?
This one here, the Boomerang.
Boomerang, yes.
Yeah, standard rental.
Just to let you know though, now that's not doing standard rental, that's doing contractors coming into town, and we were getting $420 a week for that, and now we're getting $850 a week.
Is that positive cash flow?
Yeah.
Work the sums.
We actually have, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doing that.
Yep. So this is a place, and there's plenty of towns like this around Australia.
There's towns like this, our friends that were up here earlier today, who are farmers, exactly that. There's towns like this all over Australia. Don't be afraid of the bush.
That strategy that Dimon and I talk about in the 3-day boot camp, where you try and find a town that's 2 hours from nowhere, and when you've got government bodies that need to travel that town, so they have to stay in a motel because there's nowhere to stay in that particular town. They're going to drive 4 hours a day over the next 3, 4, 5 a week, however long they're there. All of a sudden, you give them somewhere that's half decent to stay in with a clean bathroom, and then word gets around the government bodies that, hey, do you know Des and Shona's got a place in there, and they get phone calls. That's about what happened. Yep. Okay, so then you work out that there is a need serviced units or rooms are good for that. So you go and buy Augusta Street for 65, which is another duplex strategy, same strategy, 3 strategies in one deal. And in this one here, you go and renovate it. That's a nice blue uniform you're wearing there. Nicely renovated. You're getting more efficient at your renovation. You drive 10 hours with a truck and a ute and pick up everything that you need. You get back and you start renovating. So that one there.
Got the cookie cutter.
Cookie cutter, straight in, straight out. Same colour, same tile, same vinyl. So if there's left over, you just take the next job and keep on going like that.
Ian gives a great tip. It's called grand piano, and it's floor, walls, and ceilings.
Yeah. You can take the leftover from my job and take it to your job because that's all I paint at the moment. And while you're there, you go and do one more. So this one here is $50,000 purchase, another duplex. One unit is a short stay accommodation. So that's the unit beforehand, doing really well. By this stage, Shona, you're a Kiwi, you brought your family over?
Yeah, they all came, yeah.
Because we got that agreement where you go over there for holidays, come home, and they come over here and they stay.
I think we ended up 24.
They just missed the East Coast. They just flew too far over to WA. So the fun of life here. Talk about this. It runs the family. Running the family, the whole town.
It runs in the family is that we've been able to give the information to our children. DJs.
How many properties you got, DJ, now?
I'm up to 2 at the moment and looking for a 3rd one. One of them is my PPR that I live in at the moment, and I've got the empty block, not section, because you Australians can't understand that, the empty block next door. And
what's your mortgage?
I just had my mortgage repayment the other day. It was $291 a month.
Yeah.
And you've got a job in the town too?
So when I go back to town on Monday, they're most likely going to give me the manager job at the supermarket as well. So
we'll talk about that deal in a minute, because that's a cracker, because this is what happens when you start getting yourself into different positions, and sometimes by default, but sometimes a universe or whatever you want to call it, drives you into a narrow point, and that's you're right at the end of the point. So here, you, like me, have a passion for Indigenous and helping out where you can.
Absolutely. Shona and I, because of where we are, because of the passive income that's been made, we have the ability. We go back because we only go where we're asked. And we got asked by the local Aboriginal community, the local Wongai and a few Pit and Jara, to come into their homes and start educating them on alcohol abuse, all sorts of abuse. These government agencies out there that are trying to do this, and they've got this one size fits all, and it doesn't work. So individually, we've gone in there. We've seen families. We have families who are alcohol-free, drug-free. There's no more. The crisis centre isn't full up with their wives on a Saturday or Friday night anymore. This has gone so far that we now travel 6 hours into the desert further to other communities. We've been asked to go up and do this. We fund this ourselves. Why? Because we got shown by a beautiful lady how to do this.
I just want to say one thing. One key thing that was said there was, the opening sentence was, they came and asked.
Yeah.
They weren't told.
Yeah.
Yeah, they watch.
So you do volunteering. Some guy shuffles up the road one day and says, do you want to sit on the council? Yeah, do you want to put yourself up to be voted
I
on?
need to run for mayor. So I didn't want it, but I did. I got involved. I'm a councillor, and yes, I do like approving plans. And it's great.
He stands on there fighting for the Aborigines to be able to fly their flag in our town. They're not allowed to. We're almost totally Aboriginal community.
At least 80% of our
And they're not even allowed to fly their own flag. And so Des is on the council fighting with them now, with side by side, to be able to fly their flag.
When you actually get the race of people who actually stand up and take the dignity back in their own right, and they stand there, and the elders come, and they look the mayor straight in the face and say, we would like, can we please have? And this council is absolutely stunned.
It was worth it. You should have seen when we first took them into the council chambers. Man, they squirmed. They squirmed. Not the Aboriginal, the people squirmed because they hadn't had them in there before. It was great. It was good. Good outcome. Yeah.
DJ?
This is my fun job. I get to go run around and bandage people up. It's awesome.
So this
Can I just, in that though, we because we had free time, we had no volunteers in town for the ambulance. And so I put my hand up and said I'd be secretary and they would do the hard job. But then Des comes and says, come on, can you come out? There's no one else to go out. And I'm like, And so now the three of us are ambulance drivers. The great thing that's been able to is the other day we went to a rollover. There's 2 young Italian tourists almost killed in it. They were so lucky to survive. They lost everything. So we were in a position to say, hey, we've got a house in town. You can stay there and heal while you're in town. So for a week they stayed there. And then we were able to give them a ride in the ambulance back down to Kalgoorlie, 3.5 hours, get them a car and put them on their way across to Nullarbor. They weren't going up the Lesbian anymore. But that's the third rollover family that we've been able to put into a house because we've had a house. And
did you get pasta? Did you get pizza and lasagna? I hope so.
That's the most
Yes, they did. She came and cooked us for us.
So, the journey, follow the steps.
Definitely.
And move fast and break things.
Yeah.
DJ?
We got to a point where we were moving so fast out in the bush that the accountants and lawyers just couldn't keep up with all the paperwork. The other thing that made it so hard is we were 1,000 k's away from the accountants, so there was a delay in trying to get everything out to them. So, we've only just caught up with paperwork, I think. But you've got it listed, don't you?
I just want to give you this, that what we did, we followed the teachings and then duplicated it. What you should have not done was move so fast. From January 2012 to December 2013, we moved interstate, we moved house 3 times, we changed employment twice, did a university degree with DIFNA. purchased and personally renovated 4 duplexes and 2 houses, became a counsellor, became pastors, learnt Wongai language, became directors from 8 companies, became an administrator for 8 companies, became a grandparent for our 6th grandchild, and became financially independent.
And if you got a chance to watch their video on the success story, it was read out as if it was being read to a child, and a whole story around it was absolutely fabulous.
A playgroup story.
Yes. So we've got that advice there that you just said. So know your limits and know what you can do. Now, one of the houses at the moment you actually give to the community because they don't have a hall or a church, and they use that
As a church.
Yes.
And when we go back, that church now is too small. And it's not about giving Christianity, it's about raising individuals. It's growing the individual. It's giving back. This theme just keeps coming across time and time again. And that's what it's about.
And so what we're doing now is that we're now giving them our 6-bedroom house, and they're going to start up a training and equipping centre to train them and equip them to go out to their land, to their people.
So what it means is that we've got a lot of people in the Wongai community out in the desert, and they can come in and we can do a week with these families, with the individuals, and help them to raise and get the skills they need. Skills that are sensible, and go back out to the desert so they can teach their own people again.
Self-worth.
Self-worth.
So, so you're going to take someone out, once the next lease finishes, it's $800 a week, you're going to take someone out of that and give it to the community for free because you can. You don't need as much cash flow as what you've got right now.
No. If you took business sense, it doesn't make sense. But if you take heart sense and you're able to do it, it makes all sense.
Any advice for anyone in here?
Real estate is a vehicle. Okay, it's not about the money will come. As long as you listen to the teachings and do the teachings and keep moving forward. Everyone here has said today, it's not about the money, it's the vehicle to what you can do in your life for other people and to raise up other people. That's what our heart is.
DJ? Advice?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing as, like, our biggest thing was when we watched the DVDs and said, go get a lawyer. We went out and found a lawyer, get an accountant. We found an accountant, get a trust. If you do it step by step and don't try and change it to your preconceptions or the way you've learned before, no, I'm going to do it my way. Nah, that's not, you got to leave all that behind and just do it how it is. And it works. It really does.
Des? Any advice?
Yeah, it's scary, but it's fun.
So let me say this. You've got a shop in the town. It costs the government $10 million to run it, and it makes $5 million. Not a lot of business sense, right? So you're sitting on the local council. You get to talk to government bodies, whatever. They come to you and they put a proposal in front of you, and they say, "We will sign you. We will give you X amount of money to go and build a supermarket. And instead of us trying to run it from remotely somewhere, we'll train up your son to run it, and we'll pay you to build it, and we'll put a contract in place, and we can do that for a number of places around WA."
That's pretty much it. It's an incredible thing because people look at us and they go, you do what you say you do, and that's what we do. And so that's exactly what's happening. We've got consultancies from Canberra that we've got to go back and sit down and start talking to, and that's it in a nutshell. They will sign a long lease for us to go build a purpose-built building, which we can take the local post office, haberdashery and cafeteria, put a new supermarket in place, and then we will get all the stock and plant and carry on.
Pretty amazing.
It is.
So you got a new job, DJ?
Yeah, job.
It's another learning curve, and it's great.
All right.
For us, hey, we can go do a lot more.
So essentially you took $110,000 leaving Victoria, you've turned it into over $1 million worth of property, and you've got well over $100,000 worth of income, and you did that in the space of 18 months.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give him a huge round of applause.
Actually, before I go, I'm going to do one thing. I haven't done this. I was discharged from the army 30 years ago. As a young soldier, I was taught many things. Where's my mate Mark? He's not there. I need a hat, any sort of a hat. Someone got a hat, please?
Wait,
A beanie? I don't care what it is. I just need a headdress.
Is there a hat? There you want?
Thank
Fine
you.
hat.
I was taught as a young soldier, 17 and a half years of age, I was drafted into the military system. I was taught as a young infantryman that when I salute an officer, I'm not saluting him, I'm saluting the Queen's mission that he wears on his shoulder and the warrant that he has to carry out his duties. It was commonly known that when you walked into a new unit, you watched what your fellow soldiers reacted with the officer that you had to answer to. If he got a yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir, you were in trouble. But if the guys around you continually went to that officer and said, hey boss, or skipper, you knew you were in good hands. That was a man I knew that I could put my life into his hands and know that when the bullets started going, he would bring me out alive out the other side. I trusted him. And you would give that man, whenever appropriate, you would give him what is called a boxer. Dufner, stand up. I'm going to give you a boxer, Ian. I'm going to ask you to receive this.
Oh dear.
This is something.
Doesn't sound promising.
Yeah. For a soldier, the greatest honour. Because it's not words. No words can say this. When you gave an officer a boxer, you trusted that man. And in this case, Dufner, Ian, I put my family's future in the teachings that you guys gave, and we went into a battle, and we've come out this other side. We're wiser, we're smarter, and we know where we're going. I haven't done this for 30 odd years. It's not that easy. It's not a slouch hat, but I'll do. Squad! Hand! Hat! Begin! Out! Thanks.
And if you've ever wondered why Dimmer do and I do what we do, you just got it.